Hi everyone. I just wanted to make another video, kind of a follow-up from the one I did before, which I will link below in case anyone didn't see that and you're watching this one for the first time, because context is kind of important. But anyway, I'm making this video today because after the first video I made, which was basically me explaining how I became a Muslim and why I left Islam, and I've seen this elsewhere across YouTube whenever I see any people saying that they've converted to Islam or talking about how they became Muslim and that kind of thing. And the theme that I see is people ask, why would anyone in their right mind want to join Islam? Especially Western people who have all these freedoms. We're not being pressured. Our families aren't pressuring us. So why would people, especially like women, want to join this religion? I thought I would kind of share some insight and give my opinion and in my experience and from what I've read, like from research, as to why people do join Islam or convert to Islam in the West. Feel free to agree or disagree, but this is just what I've noticed and kind of seen in some research and from my own lived experience. So let's get into it. So the first reason, and I think probably the main motivation in most people's situations, is that they want acceptance. They want to feel like they belong to a community. Obviously, humans are social creatures and we're really motivated to feel like we belong. We want to feel seen. We want to feel heard. And there's a lot of people out there who don't feel like they belong, or they're not good at making friends in general, or they might have some other kind of issues going on where they just don't feel like they fit in. And really, they're looking for something. They're looking for something to cling on to. Now, another factor here, which is kind of contributing towards this, is people out there's just some people, as I said, who are naturally looking for something to belong to for whatever reason. And the other contributing factor towards this one is that there are, especially here in the UK, when you go out on the street in most major cities down the high street, you will get people proselytizing, as in giving dawah, calling people to Islam. On YouTube, social media these days, there's a huge presence now of young, energetic Muslims, lots of Muslim celebrities, and they always push Islam. Now, this heavy advertisement and this heavy push obviously means that the message is getting spread out there, and people who are looking are going to be drawn towards that. And to be honest, they are these people who are given dawah. They are the intended target audience anyway, and the message is definitely getting out there. So these two things put together is a combination where you'll find lots of people gravitating towards Islam who are looking for something. With that being said as well, the way it works when you become Muslim is that, now imagine, I'm going to give you an example so you can understand it a bit better maybe. Imagine you're really, really hungry and you're walking home from work or wherever, and you see a McDonald's and you're starving and you think, you know what, I'm just going to go and get a Big Mac meal with Coke, and that's going to satisfy your hunger. It's a quick fix, it's accessible, it's cheap, but it's not healthy. And this is the same with Islamic dawah. Somebody looking for acceptance and a sense of belonging usually has some sort of psychological thing going on inside where they haven't really done a deep dive into why they feel that way. They might not be really feeling a lot of self-love towards themselves, and because of that, they're probably looking for a quick fix. And along comes Islamic dawah, which is saying, just like the Big Mac, just like McDonald's, you want to feel like you belong? You want a quick fix of love, of acceptance? There you go. That's what's going on there. And I know this from my own personal experience. When the dawah team or the proselytizers are trying to get someone to become Muslim, they go hard. They go hard. They will be there making sure you become Muslim, because in Islam it's all about the numbers. It's an expansionist ideology. It believes in spreading, conquering, taking over. It's not pacifist. It's not really kind of a spiritual thing like the message Jesus was trying to show. It's a message to expand, to take over, and to get as many people as possible. They don't really care about, this kind of sounds bad, but they don't care about who's coming. It's just like, get anyone you can, get anyone you can. And like I said, if you're a person that doesn't really feel like you fit in, you're going to be like, well, I'm just looking for anything. I'm not really looking for something of good sustenance or a community that's going to, you're just looking for something as a quick fix too. And that's that terrible combination. Or I don't know if it's terrible. And that's the combination that comes together. And that's why this whole kind of massive push and PR and advertising for Islam actually reaches people and actually convinces people that this is the family you've been looking for. You will find a home with us. And this ummah, like the brotherhood or the kind of gigantic Muslim family around the world, there's this guarantee that you are no longer alone anymore. Now you're accepted by like 2 billion people, however many Muslims there are. And as I said, I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's a good thing necessarily, because people should accept you based on who you are, not what you believe in. And that kind of love and acceptance is usually really superficial. And a lot of Muslim converts will find themselves like overwhelmingly loved in the first couple of months, but then it just tapers off, and then you're just stuck in this belief system, in this community that you're not really that familiar with. So, as I said, it's always better to do the work inside rather than look for that quick fix. But people being people, they're going to take the quick fix most of the time. The second reason, I think, definitely, and I want to say this, is definitely for women a lot of the time, is because they're dating someone who's Muslim. And it's a bit of 50-50, because, a lot of women like to try and impress their partner or impress his family, or just in general, they just want to copy what their husband or future husband or boyfriend is doing. The other side is that even though a lot of these guys might say they're Muslim, this happens a lot in the UK as well. They date a girl, a Western British girl, and they kind of push the girl to, they will still be convincing that girl that Islam is true, even though they're not fully practicing themselves. They will still be telling her, like, if you ever want to marry me in the future, my family is only going to accept you if you're Muslim. And they will tell you this very early on. Like, they will tell you, you need to become a Muslim, especially if you're going to have kids, because that's where they draw the line in the sand. Like, kids have to be raised Muslim. That would just, their whole family, a lot of the time, would not be happy if a white woman or a Christian British woman is raising Christian kids who are like eating pork and dressing like Western women. So the men also have this kind of thing where they're like, you need to do this in the future. Maybe not straight away, but you need to work towards this. And because the women love these men and they want a future, a lot of people just comply. And theologically as well, I think children have to be raised as Muslim, because on the day of judgment, God is, according to Islam, God is going to ask, he's going to look at your children, and that is going to go towards whether you go to heaven or hell. So like, yeah, if your kids are there on the day of judgment, in their mind, I don't believe this anymore, but just imagine, this guy is thinking, oh my God, the day of judgment, my kids, my daughters, it's always the daughters usually, is going to rock up in a kind of, in hot pants and a crop top, listening to music, wearing tons of makeup, has a bacon sandwich in her hand, bottle of vodka in the other. No, I can't, because if that happens, there's a possibility that I might go to Jahannam based on that alone. Then there's the shame factor. I really think the shame factor is more of a motivating factor, because they do not want their daughter to copy the Western women. Okay, that is like ultimate shame. Although they're attracted to Western women, these specific men, I'm not saying it's everyone, but these specific type of men, they're attracted to Western women. They want a Western girlfriend, but they don't want their kids to do the same. So they want to have their cake and eat it, basically. And that's why some people convert to Islam, because they're trying to please their partner and their partner wants them to do it. So yeah, once again, emotional reasons. And the last reason I would give, and I really think it's not that common, but it has to be said, some people might just believe in the theology of Islam. So they might actually think that there is only one God. You know, they've read through the kind of Dawah sheet and they've seen that, oh, in Islam there's one God. It's more logical to believe in one God according to them. Other theological reasons, like they believe in heaven and hell and they think that's a fair way to judge human beings. So yeah, so those people might just, they might have studied it and they just come to like the belief system. But I really don't think that that's all that common. I think that most people convert for the emotional reasons I've mentioned earlier, namely being acceptance. I really, really think that's the main motivating factor. And so, you know, to really just conclude, to wrap this video up, it's like, I think it does look bizarre to a lot of people. You know, why would you give up your freedoms? Why would you give up your Western lifestyle to join this? But if someone's done something quite extreme or they've really broken the status quo, done something really unexpected, that's usually because something on the inside isn't sitting right with them, or they are looking for something because they're unhappy with something. They've taken quite a big decision. So that means that something quite big was motivating them. If something feels good to them or if it's a quick fix, they're going to go for that. But it's not really a good idea. Like you should always, like in my case, you should always actually try to bring your rational mind, your emotional mind together and make a wise decision. Like I said in my other video, I think a lot of people leave Islam when they convert. I don't think it's as clean cut as like everybody's just converting and the whole country is becoming Muslim. No, I don't think it's that at all. It's probably the religion with the loudest voice in the UK or other parts of the West. But yeah, I think most people who come across it don't convert, but the ones, as I said, that combination of the people who are looking and the Dawa team, the Dawa machine pumping out propaganda and invites, you know, that's a combination. So yeah, I hope this video was informative. It was just a little, you know, just a little explanation, because when I see people say like, how could you convert, you know, like how do people convert to this? I'm always just like, look, if you put yourself in someone else's shoes and think what was going through their mind, it might become a little bit clearer as to why people make these decisions. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you watched, I am planning, as I said in my last video, I am planning to put out more things related to like reverts to Islam, converts to Islam, and kind of Islam's interaction with Western people in general. I really want to start, I really want to make more videos like that, because I just have a little bit of insight because of my lived experience. So I'm happy to share it with people and, you know, kind of spread information. So yeah, thank you so much for watching again, and I wish everyone the best, and hopefully I'll be putting out another video soon.